What's the most fricked up game your friends play? Night Beat. Turn all the lights off in the basement and beat the crap out of each other. We stopped playing at one friend's house when he was being relentlessly beaten and kicked a hole through the wall and the power went out. Everybody froze and we could hear his mom coming for the basement, so we all pretended to be asleep. A bunch of middle schoolers asleep at 2 PM on a Saturday. Right. In high school, me and my friends used to play a game we called Tectonics. Over the course of class, we would slowly, inch by inch, move our desks closer and closer to teacher. When she finally realized what happened, we'd blame it on plate tectonics. We would do that and slowly move the desks towards the door. If a person got their desk out in the hall without the teacher noticing, they were saved. My friends and I play the sandwich punch game. Basically, once you start eating anything that can vaguely be considered or called a sandwich or is one thing sandwiched between other things, Oreo, ice cream, submarine, egg McMuffin, you are not allowed to put it down without placing something on top of it. Fail to protect your sandwich and it will be punched into oblivion until you manage to get a fry or something on top of it. I've been so paranoid that my sandwich is going to be smashed that I protected it when I am hours away from any of my friends. It's second nature now. Pavlov's sandwich. Played a game called Fugitive in the Dallas-Fort Worth area with my college roommate. He started it with friends in high school. 1 or 2 people are the fugitive, and the rest are the cops, or hunters, or whatever. The group sticks the fugitive in the trunk of a car, and drive them to some random place in town. Stop, dump the fugitive and drive off. After 5 to 10 minutes of a head start, the group then starts hunting for the fugitive. Only way to subdue them is physically restrain them, tackle to the ground. Game ends when the fugitive are all caught, or make it back to the house, school, bar, or wherever else is the agreed base. Resulted in so many middle of the night marathons through shady ass parts of the city. Good times. Jehovah's Witness tag. If you got tagged, you have to run and knock on a door before you could tag anyone else. In college we played a game called Toast Pocket at parties. It was really simple and no one ever really won, but the object of the game was to make a piece of toast at a party and slip it into someone's pocket. Once the toast was inside the pocket, you would slap the pocket as hard as you could, which destroyed the integrity of the toast and converted it to crumbs. No matter your efforts, you would have toast crumbs in an affected pocket for weeks. Whiskey slaps. The rules are simple. Stand around in a circle. Turn to your friend and say, "Are you ready?" He responds, "Yes." You slap him as hard as you can in the face. He takes a shot of whiskey. He turns to someone else, or back to you, and repeats the formula. As a friend who heard a game occurring from another room described it, I started to get concerned when I heard you guys slapping each other, but I got really concerned when I realized nobody was saying ow. Smack. UUGHHHI Licky Trow. Get down, Mr. President. In a big group of friends, one person would put their finger to their ear, like a Secret Service agent, and as the rest of the group noticed, they would do the same. When there was one person left without their finger to their ear, everyone would scream, "Get down, Mr. President," and tackle them. On pavement, gravel, whatever. There were some injuries. We would play this at my friends' barbecues in the summer. Even more fun because Secret Servicemen are everywhere in DC. I had a friend that used to like bumping my rear bumper with his car whenever he found me driving around. When I was in the Navy we had a game called Danger Nut. You took a long screwdriver and a nice sized nut and slipped it over the end. Then you took a low pressure air hose, 100 sig, and spun the nut until it whistled, spinning very fast. At this point you covered your eyes, groin, or anything else you were concerned about getting hit, and the holder of the screwdriver yells, 1, 2, 3, danger nut, and flings the nut off the screwdriver. Now pretty much everything in the engineering spaces are metal. The walls, floor, equipment, and that nut will ricochet off of a few things before it spins itself to a stop. Never personally witness a bad injury, but I have a friend with a scar running from his wrist to elbow from a danger nut game. When I was first reading this I thought you meant an edible nut. That game sounds so fricked up, but pretty fun. I grew up in a special place with many rednecks and few brain cells. There was a game called Stick which was rather stupid and bloody. There was also one called Circle which is a drinking game but not the one with cards. Hands down though, the worst was Nail. Here were the rules. You get a pair of pliers, a blowtorch, a large iron steel nail, and a lot of whiskey. 1. Player 1 grabs the nail with the pliers and then heats it until it is red hot with the blowtorch. 2. Player 2 then has take a swig of whiskey or player 1 gets to burn him with the red hot nail. 3. After making his decision and experiencing the consequences, player 2 gets the nail and player 3 must decide. 4. Repeat for all players until out of whiskey. No one ever wins in nail. After a few rounds, people get pretty smashed and start choosing nail instead of drinking. The more you drink, the less you feel, the more you choose nail. I watched 17-year-old high school girls join in this game. There were a lot of people with serious scars and half-dead livers in my hometown. I love how all of your games are just one-word names. In high school my friends and I played hide and go poo. Whenever you left class to drop a deuce, you were required to text the other players either HAGP or the full hide and go poo before sitting down. The other players then must find you sitting down, take a wet paper towel and tag you with it over the stall wall. We had a full rule sheet as to what was considered finished and a point system, which made the game fun to continue throughout the entire year. When I was in junior high school, my friend and I would take turns riding a bike or raise a scooter down the largest hill in our development, and then deliberately crash in the most spectacular way we could manage when a car drove by. Scared a lot of soccer moms. Also, I broke my wrist once doing this, while going uphill. Served me right. In high school, a group of friends and I would do what we called T-boning. If someone had their mouth open with a slack jaw, someone else would bash their fist under their chin and cause their teeth to chatter. We wound up assigning point values to the severity of the T-bone and kept a running tally of everyone's score. You got the most points for causing someone to bite their tongue. When I worked at a deli, my co-workers and I had a game we called Repeat to Frick with customers. When a customer ordered something, you had to repeat their order back to them and intentionally screw it up. Won 3 points based on how different the original order was compared to your repeated line. For example, if the customer asked for 1/2 pound of pasta salad and you repeat 1 pound of potato salad, that would be worth 1 point. If the customer asks for 3/4 pound of coleslaw and 1/2 lb of sliced turkey, and you replied 6 chicken cutlets and a meatball sub, that would earn 3 points. Someone was once awarded 4 points for telling a customer we did not sell pornography when asked to make a sandwich. I think I'm going to start playing Repeat. That's awesome. The Worm. We would clear out a large space, typically a living room, and surround it with chairs. It kind of resembled an arena. One person would cover themselves with a blanket, the worm, and thrash around trying to touch the others as they evaded the worm. Once touched, you became the new worm. We broke so much crap. March of the Penguins. Basically the objective is to get someone to say march. The first person then cuts the person who says it off and screams March of the Penguins, and everyone around jumps yelling like they just witnessed the greatest insult in all of history. I can't believe you fell for that, my god, he walked right into it. OHH crap. OHH crap. New players to the game are often left confused as an explanation is never provided, yet they seem to always jump in on the game the next time someone is marched. The game started with one person. It extends to pretty much everyone I see on a regular basis now. My friends and I would get a bunch of bottle rockets, Roman candles, and whatever the frick we could buy. We tore off the stick and twisted a bunch of the wicks together. After doing that to hundreds of bottle rockets, we would set them in a big pile, light it, and then run like heck. Keep in mind we would be shooting Roman candles at each other while bottle rockets are exploding all around us. I don't know if that counts as a game, but it is fun. It's called Don't Catch Fire. Not my friends, but with most of my family that seems pretty fricked up. We have an annual bet that we all place on New Year's Eve. The bet consists of 3 celebrities we each think will die during the new year. We give each celebrity a number of points based on age, habits, and past history that we all agree on. The closer the celebrity is to their birthday when they pass, more points get added on. That is, on birthday 20 points, within a week before 15, within month 10. My mom won last year with Amy Winehouse and Elizabeth Taylor. When I was 13, My best friend and I bought these eye cover things at Bath and Body Works. They were sticky so they didn't come off, so we'd have sleepovers, put them on and just go nuts. We'd tackle each other, run at each other. It was sincerely bizarre. I got a concussion though, so we stopped. First one to die loses. Pro tip, don't play this against competitive people. In high school, my cross-country team used to play a game called nutball. You'd sit on the ground about 25 feet from your opponent with your legs spread out. You'd take turns lobbing a tennis ball with the intention of hitting your opponent in the nuts. No flinching. Cross-country kids are weird. My friends and I would play this game called Assassin. We would all get Sharpies and meet before school to call the rules. They would change from game to game. Then we would go on with our regular school day, knowing that at any moment a fellow classmate could come up behind you in the hallway or in class to slash a Sharpie across your neck. Once you got the mark, you were out, and this would go on until the end of the school day, where the last ones would be declared the winners. That doesn't sound fricked up, but like a lot of fun. The game is called Hammer and it involves the prerequisite consumption of booze and a hammer. Simple. Drink. Play catch with a hammer. This can also be ported to other objects, such as wrench or mallet. Not too fricked up, but a pretty fun game. Basically the objective is to get your balls out when a photo is being taken. It's called Sneaky Nuts. Another variation is Dongle Ball. You get either your dong or ball in your fly and people have to guess which it is. We used to play butt plug. Basically you got in an order and took turns throwing a tennis ball at a wall within a certain area. If the ball was thrown outside the area, the ball stopped rolling before you picked it up for your turn, or you fumbled it, you had to sprint and touch the wall before the next person in line could hit the wall. If you didn't make it in time, you had to bend over in front of the wall and the next person got to throw the tennis ball at your ass. I made a kid cry one time. That game was fast paced and awesome. I love that game. We just called it wall ball though. In the army reserves we played bag tag, rapid strike to the scrotum, usually delivered by backhand. The game would last all weekend, from Friday night to Sunday afternoon, and it was brutal. It was fiercest when we were in formation, trying to stay at attention while tears of pain and white hot rage streamed down one's face. Yeah, I'm not sad that those days are behind me. My friends' game. When they're at one another's houses, they'll often say goodbye by grinning and saying sneaky poo. This means that they've pooped in a container and hidden it somewhere in the house. My old English teacher told me about how he would take some Pringles out of the can, poop in it, then put the Pringles back, then put it in the room of people he didn't like. Rock, paper, balls. Basically there are two blindfolded participants and a judge. The blindfolded people will play a game of rock, paper, scissors, and without knowing who is the winner, the judge will hesitate slightly before punching the loser of the match square in the balls. The hesitation is nerve-wracking. This game only comes out at the end of most parties, usually. In high school we played a game in the boys' locker room. It's a hangout spot, so there would always be people coming and going. The game was, as someone was leaving, they might randomly turn the lights off and everyone in the room would take off their shoes and, in complete darkness, throw them at someone else as hard as possible. There would be those that ducked and covered and those that would charge after others, beating them with their shoes. Eventually teachers found out and banned the game, but not before one kid broke his nose. After taking out the back 2 rows of seats, we'd load up a minivan with as many kids as we could fit. Then we'd drive down the highway with the front passenger window open. The goal was to take off someone's shoe, then throw it out the window. We did this while driving down the right lane, and whoever lost a shoe had to walk back along the side of the highway and find it. Killed a lot of Saturday nights in high school this way. In college we played a game called Fireball, in which we soaked a tennis ball in rubbing alcohol, then set it on fire and tossed it around. The object is really just to avoid catching your clothes on fire. When you miss a catch or the fireball goes out, you are responsible for soaking and relighting the ball. Also, you don't want to be the first to catch the fireball after it has just been lit, because the flaming alcohol can splash on your hand, clothes, face and catch you on fire. Finally, this is a drinking game, so you have to use one hand for fireballing and the other to hold your drink. Good times, minor burns. You have been visited by the doggo of Wi-Fi. Upvote in 3.1459268 seconds to receive a secure connection. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video, or don't. Either way, have a great day you magnificent people.